Hey, what's up guys, DiplexHeated here again. Welcome back to Men of War Assault Squad 2 and the Red Rising mod. Today we're doing something that could be considered a little bit controversial. We're doing the defense of TRUMPS wall. It was actually built and it is very well defended. This has made it very difficult for the cartel to smuggle drugs into the United States. There's a lot more security, there's a lot more checks, and this is actually the biggest border point on the border of Mexico and the United States. Mostly it's letting people out, not so much in. They're very harsh on the checks and control. They even have contractors here. Private military contractors helping out with the defense. Lots of National Guardsmen on the other side of the soil, but or on the United States territory. What is that? Oh, it's a suicide bomber. I was just about to ask myself, what the hell is that? He ran right up past the cars and skipped the line. I'm not sure the Mexicans like that. The attack is underway, and the Mexican police officers and army soldiers on this side of the border are going to be hit the hardest, and they're just instantly shot down. 50 caliber machine gun's going to leave no one alive. That is very deadly. We have another two cars in high speed on either side of the wall here. A suicide bomber to break the gates, and oh, that's a huge explosion. Luckily, no. Oh, that guy was knocked down by the car. That was almost a little silly. And there's a massive assault now from the cartel members running up. So seeing as it's made it a lot harder for the cartel to import drugs and export drugs into the United States, which is their biggest client, of course, their biggest customer, they're going to try and break down these border walls and rush them in via trucks, and then have them spread out and disperse on the other side of the border. Another suicide truck was stopped here. I believe it is a suicide car. It seems to be malfunctioning. It went fine, and then it took a couple of shots. Gate's been opened now, but these officers are mostly seen retreating here. There's not much they can do right now. This is one of the lucky survivors, a civilian who's most likely gonna get shot if he tries to break through the border. So he's not gonna play that risk. He's gonna just try and stay on the side of it. Cartel members still attacking in full here. 50 caliber machine gun, plenty of AK-47s. As I said, these guys resemble an army more than just a bunch of gangsters. Looks like most of the contractors and policemen on this side of the wall have been killed. Over here, we have this attack continuing. They've actually entered U.S. soil now. They've killed most of the defenders on this side, and they're going to be rushing in. So many cartel members are coming in right now. They've breached the gates. It's almost like a prison riot in a way, except they're trying to break in, not out. We can see some police cars have arrived, and it seems like the U.S. National Guard has been scrambled. They're coming in full effect here. Some police officers from a nearby station arrived as well. 4 cars carrying most likely about 8 officers. Mostly taking cover behind the cars, though. Cartel presence on this side is a little bit weaker. They've kind of made it into the first layer here of the defense, but they haven't really breached the main wall yet. So they're staying on this side. I think the National Guardsmen on this side are going to give them a very hard time doing that. The cartel members on this side are kind of trying to stay down, taking cover here behind the wall. It's a pretty interesting situation. Small arms against that Humvee back there. Might work, might not. I do believe I spotted an RPG on this side, but that rocket soldier might have already been killed. Look at this guy with a shotgun. Got some AK-47s and all the sunglasses and stuff. Hey, 38. Hey, Cartel. Look at these guys. You know, a cheap buck, no training, just an AK-47 in a magazine. Go for it. So the U.S. Army or National Guard and policemen on this side definitely have a advantage in training and weapons and equipment, but the determination of these poor youngsters and gangsters is what powers them, and the will to try and get out of the ghetto possibly stand out today during the attack. This is going to go down as one of the greatest terror attacks in U.S. history. And it's currently underway. National Guardsmen, though, taking a lot of fire. It's a bloody fight for both sides. How are the main gates looking? They're open, but it's hard for the cartel to approach here. A lot of troopers taking cover behind this car. I'm going to get this guy to get out because he serves no purpose sitting inside of it. So if you follow me on Snapchat, username's DiplexHeated, you would have seen this map a couple of days before everyone else. So if you guys want previews and sneak peeks, follow me on Snapchat. It's the greatest way to get in touch with me, really. We have a few cartel members surviving on this side. They're just covering here behind the SWAT truck. There's a storm of National Guardsmen on this side. Lots of weapons. Even a few police officers surviving the initial attack. They take no chances. They're gunning down anyone they can see on the side. And there's just a line of dead bodies here along this fence. The last cartel member on that side is going to die. But there's a few alive here. And there's a handful of men on this side of the wall. Main gate under a lot of fire right now. Some of them are even put into a retreat. It's like it seems like they can't really push through. They're trying, but they can't really push through. We have a guy with an RPG here. I think he's just used one of his rounds. There's another one on this side. Nope, there was not. It looked like an RPG, though, with a shadow. I think he's out of rockets. Lots of casualties from both sides are going to be left here on the battlefield. I was looking on this side. There's a storm of cartel members here, but once again, they're not really making any moves because of the fire from this side. They have rockets, though. They have a couple of guys with RPGs. There's just a lot of them. There's like a platoon of cartel members here on this side. They're going to send a few people in, try and break through, but they're going to be quickly shot back and suppressed. That's going to be impossible. There's so many guns covering that entrance. There's at least a whole platoon here of guardsmen and a couple of officers, too. I think the way to go would be through the central gate. They've actually killed the crew of this Humvee. And they're going to be facing the soldiers on this side, and it's going to be a more even fight. We even have some troopers that are getting close here. AK-47s, a few sawn-off shotguns, a few, like, pistol pump grip. Pistol grip pump is what it's called. I got a pistol grip pump on my lap at all times. Alright. They're coming in, though. It's an interesting attack. We even have more cartel reinforcements. They're kind of almost a little... kind of a cocky attitude walking towards the fight. Perhaps they I think communication is rather poor. But they're going to be quickly involved in the fighting. I'm curious, does this guy have a rocket or not? No, he does not. See, he just swapped his AK. No rocket for him, and they're also attacking more on this side. A lot of the fence here has been knocked out. This 50 caliber truck, this technical rather, has been knocked over, so that's going to be of no use. Do we have any cartel members alive on this side? It looks pretty dead. One guy with a shotgun is pulled back. So right now it's a bit of a stalemate. The U.S. are definitely holding the wall. But the cartel members are kind of pushing in. You can tell they're coming in and in force. Lots of AK-47s, lots of focused fire up on the troopers on this side. If the cartel members decide to go for a push on this side, it's going to get very bloody. What I think they need to do is to clear out the center first here. And then kind of hit the right, which would be this section over here. It's well defended. They're well organized. But there's just a lot of cartel firepower waiting to get utilized. Damn. They're putting a lot of fire on the U.S. troops on this side. There might be a little bit of a wall hugging. Look at these guys. Hardcore. 38. To avoid this wall hugging, I'm going to go ahead and grab a crew of men and send them through up on this side. And that's just really the best I can do right now. Over on this side, there's not much cover, so that would mean more or less a suicide for the cartel to do that. I'm going to try and send a few men up to that side. And then I'm just going to, like, rush a few men in on this side. just to forward the battle, not really to give anyone an advantage or disadvantage. This could work either ways. But just to do that is going to speed up the battle a little bit. Get a little more stuff going here. Explosions, hand grenades are being thrown on the border of Mexico and the United States. This is absolutely absurd that we're going to have another wave go in the center gates here and just kind of push through. Vámonos! Shotguns and everything. The National Guardsmen here have been like almost rather gunned down. I'm supposed to call in some reinforcements, like more border police cars and stuff like that. And I have a few. There's a limited amount, but that I'm allowed to call in for the sake of the game. I'm supposed to. So I'm going to call in a few more here in the center to spice things up down this line. So nearby police forces from a police station are arriving. Unfortunately, that car has no sound. I really wish Red Rising wasn't as big. Like, it has so many factions you don't think of, so many vehicles. Like, I'd rather have it be 1/5 of the size, but so much more complete with all those things. But center gates now being attacked quite heavily. Lots of troops storming in here. On this side, they're making progress. How's it looking on this side? Should we just go for it? Now that they're all focusing on something else, let's send in a bunch of cartel soldiers here on this side. It's a storm. I'm going to make sure they're not in squads either. There we go. Look at that. Good distraction from the center checkpoints. National Guard struck down. Sending in more reinforcements, though. We have a few more available, but it's running low. Supposedly, the Cartel Attack is meant to be able to... They've actually breached the border now. Really caught the... I mean, there's hundreds of cartel members attacking. I'm not surprised they've done it already. Maybe time to get the National Guard to set up some checkpoint back here. I'm supposedly not getting any Humvee reinforcements. Well, plenty of troops coming in on this side. Look at this. Here we go. Truckloads of National Guardsmen coming in now. It's gonna be the war here on this side. This is the second part of the battle. I wonder how many times the cartel is going to continuously get reinforcements, because it's going to get very bloody. I guess technically in terms of manpower, their cartel could easily muster hundreds of futureless and hopeless youngsters willing to make a buck. If they survive, that is, they'd get paid. And they're just storming this facility right now. We need to hold down the border offices here. If we lose the border offices, we've allowed ourselves to get stepped on quite heavily. U.S. troops are going to be heading in here to the... I don't know why they're going to be around the containers. I don't think that's too useful. Pushing up in force on this side. So I do have a few more remaining. I feel like... Why the hell not? Let's get a few in on this side. Let's flank a little bit. These supposedly National Guard Humvees, they're not arriving. Something's not right on that side. We did have a few come in earlier, but they're out by now. I don't think it matters much where we send these trucks, because of the vicinity of the firefight is going to have them disembark anyway. But that might disembark, but that might act as a little bit of a distraction. Look at this cartel attack. It's insane. I wonder if my video will be like inappropriate for video income, not because of cartel or anything like that, but because of Trump. Because YouTube is different than what it used to be. Okay, let's get these guys out on this flank. What the hell are you doing? Like, the driving AI is so sexy. Like, it's so smart, so clever, so attractive. Yeah, and the cartel members are supposed to have a Spanish voice file. There's actually one in the game. I might change that later on, but Damn, we're all gunned down in the open like that. Shotguns and stuff. I have one more National Guard truck available. And then that's it. And I don't think I helped the cartel in any ways. Fact is, sending them in the way I did would be more hazardous for them. I think they just seem to be bad. I wonder what breed they have, because, like... I think the Americans can win this by being defensive. Playing this defensively, allowing the cartel to overextend, like they are now, is what's the US are gonna win this on. They have a lot of good firepower here. If they can get the cartel to focus up like this, they can gun them down easily. Come on, like, US firepower like this, that's gotta win. Can I do something? There we go. I did control the cartel for a little bit, so I'm just gonna do 2 orders here for these guys. I'm gonna create a chain reaction of explosions here. Or not. But a explosion. There's one more back there that I want to nail. There we go. Good use of some US. These National Guard Humvees aren't coming. They're on a break. They're not coming, sir. Sir, they are not coming. Okay, so it's looking good on that side. How are you still alive? Look at this guy going. Hit him, man. How is this guy still going? Oh, and he's blown up there by maybe an RPG or something. Gruesome stuff. This is bloodier than ever. But I think they can hold them back. It's time for the US to counterattack on this side. They can't sit by all day. How's a few frickin' Pedros back there with AK-47s beating the National Guard? I am... Balancing is needed. It's like the accuracy is about as good as a Russian vodka addict or something, if that's even a thing. I guess that just makes you an alcoholic. Vodka addict don't make much sense. Yeah, don't run and get yourselves all killed. Like, that would be a shame, right? Okay, do what you want now. I'm gonna... Why don't we send the cartel attacking, you know? Try and push them out. Look at the amount of manpower they have. Jesus Christ. Balancing is real. The balancing is real. How are we looking on manpower here? It looks like the cartel is actually going to win. I can already foresee a shitstorm of dislikes and comments. Like, that would never be possible. But in this game, it seems to be. I'm not sure how many troops... I didn't make this mission, by the way. I'm not sure... God... Ooh, it's been... The yellow casualties will be the American ones so far, and the red are the cartel, and it's just... There's supposed to be way more red than there currently is. There's just way too many... I think this will have to be a United States defeat. I never expected it. I guess you can make a follow-up battle. But I presume the cartel kind of broke the wall? Damn. Never expected that to happen. We've called in everything we can call in. What the fuck is this? What the hell is this? Where did this come out of? Yeah, this mod is either... Like... Okay. What is this? Well, they stopped coming in waves now. We should just call in an Apache attack helicopter and smoke these guys, but... I didn't make the mission and I can't change anything now afterwards. But I think I'm going to have to call this a cartel victory in one way or another. I guess they're going to get their illegal substances out there. So all you dumbass junkies out there are going to be happy about that, I presume. But other than that, yeah. 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 Okay. Not sure what to say. If you guys want to see more Red Rising action out, I just never expected it. I'm just a little surprised. I just thought the National Guard was easily going to be able to put these guys down. But I guess Red Rising turns a blind eye to logic. AK-47s and poorly trained gangsters beats M16s and trained National Guardsmen. Well, that's a 1-0 for the cartel. They broke it. I mean, presumably, I believe that the U.S. could call in more reinforcements. It's just I don't have it here in the mission. We called in like a battalion of nearby guardsmen. It could take an hour to scramble the next force. Maybe we should do a counterattack. If you guys want to see a counterattack on this, then let me know, and we can have the U.S. counterattack when the cartel perhaps is trying to move in trucks and whatnot, because I want to see a follow-up. But that aside, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys soon again. I'm still really surprised that this actually happened. And with minimal controlling, I don't think the results would have been much different. There's just simply too many cartel members alive for the U.S. to have been able to tactically beat this. Manpower is overpowering. And what's up with all these trucks? What the frick? Under the ground and shit. Clipping. Damn. Weird. Red Rising is trippy. Broken. But fun. See you guys soon again. Ciao.